Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Okay, Parshat Korach. You have 3 pages, um, 3 pieces for tonight. The first is from Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. The pasuk says, "Vayomer Moshe bezot tedun ki Hashem shalachani laasot et kol hamasim ha'ela." So Moshe warns Korach. He's going to set up. This is the arch enemy of Moshe Rabbeinu. By the way, this is, as I might have mentioned in past years, this is the only machlokas, the only difference of opinion amongst Jews, where one side was 100% right and the other side was 100% wrong. The only time. Okay, so Moshe sets up a system where they're going to be bringing fire pans, offering incense, see whose are accepted and whose are denied, and Rabbi Yaakov comments, Hare Shemoshe Rabbeinu hichlit ba'atzmo. This was Moshe's idea. Lahavi et kol mesiras haTorah b'sakona. To put the entire future of the Torah in jeopardy by doing this. Shahare lo matzinu. We don't find shehivticho HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheyaseh lo nes. We don't find that HaKadosh Baruch Hu instructed him to do this and there will be a miraculous outcome and your people will succeed and Korach will fail. It was Moshe's idea. Im lo haya oseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu hanes harei kemoshe Moshe Rabbeinu modeh she'enu shaliach Hashem. So here's the danger, Rabbi Yaakov points out. If Moshe's test fails, right, then Moshe is finished. It's the end of Jewish history as it's supposed to be. So why did Moshe do this? Why did he put the entire future of the Shalom al Yisrael, the safety of the Jewish people, the history of the future history of the Jewish people, the destruction of Korach? Why did he do this based on his own insistence on a showdown? Why? Amai Asake. So Rabbi Yaakov says something very insightful. Be'emet lo hayeta leMoshe brera. Moshe Rabbeinu had no choice except to do this. V'hainu mishum why? She'im b'tekufa hi. If at that period, historical moment, adayin yeshnam anashim ha'mefakfaking al shlichuto. There are still people. I mean, big people. Korach was a gadol who were challenging Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership. Imkein muchrachu la'asot nisayon zeh. He had to do this test. Shahare af im HaKadosh Baruch Hu lo yaseh et hanes. Even if God would not perform the miracle, which eventually defeated Korach, and they were swallowed up in the ground. If the Baruch would not have done it, so if he would have failed, Moshe would have been finished. He wouldn't have been the real leader. But if God didn't do anything, it would be the same result, right? He had no, so there was no either way. Shahare belize tamid yifakbeku anashim be'amitayoto. People will continue to challenge and question his leadership. Ulechein lo haya manos leMoshe milasoken. He had no choice but to take the law into his own hands and do this in order to defeat Korach. And of course, we know what happened. The miracle took place, and he defeated him. The second piece is Hashem Mishmuel, which we might have done in the past. I think we might have a number of years ago. The question is, Rashi quotes this Gemara, this Chazal. What got into Korach to try to defeat Moshe Rabbeinu? What motivated him to do such a thing? I mean, here is the Rebbeinu Shalom chose Moshe Rabbeinu, chose Aaron HaKohen. What motivated Korach to rebel against Moshe Rabbeinu, to insist that he was right to have a position of Klal Yisrael, not Aaron as the Kohen Gadol, let's say, but him as the Kohen Gadol. Others that he challenged other positions, right? So what motivated him? So Rashi says an interesting thing. He saw that he had future generations that were great people. Shmuel Hanavi, there were others, the children of Korach. The children of Korach were very holy people and future generations of the Jewish people. So Amari said, Bishvilo ani nimlat v'chov dalet mishmarot. So I want leadership here, right? Right? Shmuel Hanavi divided up the Shevet Levi into different watches. He had a tremendous responsibility, Shmuel Hanavi, and Shmuel Hanavi came from Korach. Yesh Lavin. Hello, Bara Mizaka Alba. So he's going to explain here now. This is a brilliant idea from the Shem Shmuel. How Korach had it wrong. He was convinced that he was the man because look at who my future generations are going to be. My future generations are going to be leaders of Klal Yisrael. So therefore, I have to win now, right? So listen to what he says. Hello, Bra Mizaka Abba. A son brings merit to a father. Sometimes a son can give his father, a child can give a parent schuyot. V'lama lo ho'ila lo zchutam. Right? Why didn't the father have his own schuyot? Why by the son? Venira shahu kitam. I'm going to show you an example. He says from Yom Kippur. If a person says, I'm going to sin all year long. V'yom Kippur mechaper. And on Yom Kippur, I'm going to come to shul. I'm going to klap al chet. A whole year, I'm going to do averas, right? I'm just going to have a good time. But on Yom Kippur, I'm going to go to shul. I'm going to do al chet. I'm going to daven, right? What happens to such a Jew? And really, there is a position that we have that Yom Kippur by itself provides forgiveness for a person. That just the living through the experience of Yom Kippur, right? But here he's doing tshuva, everything, right? Ein Yom Kippur mechaper. Such a person is not forgiven on Yom Kippur. Why not? Mipnei Yom Kippurim hayasiba lechato. Yom Kippur, the existence of Yom Kippur was the source and the reason and the impetus for his sinning, right? Because there's such a thing as Yom Kippur, I'm going to sin. Because at the end of the next 364 days, Yom Kippur's here and it'll save me, right? If not for Yom Kippur, you wouldn't sin. I'm going to do everything I want to do now because Yom Kippur is coming. There's such a thing as Yom Kippur, and I'll be saved. Al Kain, Eino Mechaper. So therefore, Yom Kippur doesn't work for him. V'chein, this is the same idea with Korach, says the Shem Shmuel. V'chein nami hayetakan hashalshelet hagdola hayotza mimenu. The great children and grandchildren, prophets and leaders that came from Korach, right? That's why he sinned. In other words, the reason I'm going to be successful, I'm going to defeat Moshe Rabbeinu, is because I have these children and grandchildren. Right? So if he didn't have these children and grandchildren, right? So the whole siba of why he did it was because he saw, before it was foretold, children are going to be ilmale tame hayamit yareh. But if not for that, he would have been afraid. He wouldn't have started up with Moshe Rabbeinu. Mikan, from here, Daha de Ein Yom Kippur Mechaper, the reason why Yom Kippur does not forgive, because if not for the existence of Yom Kippur, this sinner would not sin. But a person who is overcome with his passions, his negative passions, person who wants to sin, forget about Yom Kippur, he'll sin anyway. He doesn't know the Yom Kippur is going to be mechaper, but it'll limit what he does, right? So here's what happened to Korach and his people. So this is exactly what what Korach's misstep was. The tragedy of Korach was, well, because of my children and my grandchildren, everything's going to be great. V'yesh lavin lama amar karega. So I'm going to stop with this, but I see that some of it did not come out. There's a couple of paragraphs missing. Basically, Bnei Korach did tshuva. The children of Korach did tshuva. That's why they were so great, and that's why great people came from Korach. But you see, the idea here is this idea that if a person says, I'm going to sin all year, Yom Kippur will save me, Yom Kippur doesn't work. Why? Because Yom Kippur was the reason why he sinned. So here too, the reason of his future lineage is why he did what he did, Korach. Without that lineage, possibly he wouldn't have done it. Okay, let's go to this third piece. This happens to be from my Sefer Kanfei Yonah, and it's an essay really that I developed from Rav Soloveitchik. Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kahat ben Levi v'Dasan v'Aviram. So Korach took his leaders, Ruvain and other places, Dasan v'Aviram, b'nei Eliav, Bo'on ben Peled, b'nei Ruvain, the children of Ruvain. Ma'asa, what did Korach do? All right. Amad v'kines ma'atayim v'chamishim Rosh Sanhedrion. He took 250 judges. Ruban Mishevet Ruvain, Shchenav, most of them were from his neighbor. Ruvain, the tribe of Ruvain, was right next to Shevet Levi. Vehem Elitzur ben Shteur v'Chaverov Kiyotzibo Shenemar V'Siei Aida Krei. No, he took the best, the cream of the crop, with him. Ulahalanu Omer. Then it says Eila Krei Aida. These are the leaders of the people. V'Hilbishan. Listen to what he did. Right, Rashi brings this medrash. V'Hilbishan talitot shekulan tchelis. Now we know that the main part of the talis is the tzitzis, and we know that the main part of the tzitzis is the tchelis thread, right? So you have white threads and you have the blue thread of the tchelis. So he dressed these people, hundreds of people, in a talis completely made of tchelis, not the tzitzis, the talis itself. Ubov Abdul Moshe, and they stood before Moshe Rabbeinu. Amrullah, they said to him, tell me, Tale Shekulo Shel Tchelis, a talis which is completely made of tchelis, Chayav Petzitzis or Ptura. Are you obligated to put tzitzis on it or not? Amrullah Chayavetz. Of course you are. You have to have tzitzis. Itchilu Sachekalam. They laughed at him. Efshar Tali Shel Min Acher Hut Echad Shel Tchelis Potra. You're telling me, right, that a talis with one thread, two strands of tchelis, of blue, it makes the talis a kosher talis. Zu shekulo tchelis loti pater and atzma, but a talis that's completely made of tchelis is no good. Rashi brings this. What's the metaphor here? There was something behind. Korach was not a stupid man. He was a great person. He was a great thinker. And what was he thinking? So Hagon Rabbi Yosef Dov Soloveitchik Marchiv Umivaer. We present here that Rav Soloveitchik discusses this particular story. Ketzad Nisa Korach lihishtamesh betchelet al menat levases et ta'anotav. Why did he use tchelet as to push? What was his argument? There's a metaphor here. There's something about the white tzitzis and the blue tzitzis and the garment of tzitzis that Korach is pushing here. So he writes like this. He says like this: B'ofen klali, in a general way, nichleket haTorah l'shnei chalakim ikriyim. Torah is divided up into two dimensions. Chelik echad, one dimension, banui mirayonot muvanim ubrurim. There are many ideas in Torah which are readily acceptable. We understand them. They make sense. Not to steal, not to murder, not to kill, right? Ubrurim. Shenit tanim lahasagat b'tzura kazu o acheret al yedei seichel. Seichel tells us that these ideas make sense. That's one dimension of the Torah. Umatzot, on the other side, is another dimension of Torah. Achelek hasheni murkav mirayonot shekashe litfos otam be'emtzaut mysterious to us. We really don't understand that. All right. So what is he going to say here? It would appear he wants to suggest that the two colors of the tzitzis represent these two dimensions of Torah. Atchelet v'halavan, the tchelis, the blue tchelis, and the white. Boim levate et hashniot hazu, come to explain this dialectic, these two dimensions of Torah. Achutim halavanim, the white tzitzis, misamalim et otam ikronot shenitan lahasbir benakel. That area of Torah that can be explained simply. Ba'ofen hamit yashev al halev, right? The heart can accept it. The mind can accept it, right? That's white. It's white. It's clear. It's pure. Tchelet was white. It's covered over, right? It's not simply white anymore. It's been colored, right? The tchelet osek b'rayanot hanistarim is dealing with the mysterious, the hidden. Shenimtzaim be'ever la hasagatenu anushit, which are beyond the immediate grasp of human logic and seichel, right? It's kind of colored. It's colored. It's a different. We take the simple wool, and we color it. We give it a new dimension, an additional dimension, kind of a mysterious dimension. Over the page, Havanazu, this understanding, shel mitzvot hatchelet, of the mitzvah of tchelis, mevueret b'divrei hagemora b'menachos, is explained in the Gemara Menachos. Now, by the way, I should maybe make a contemporary comment. Today, there are tchelis wearers and there are non-tchelis wearers, right? So, who's right? Right? Who's right? Is someone right? Someone wrong? This is something that really has come full circle in our time. But a couple of 100 years ago, there was a Hasidic Rebbe, the Radziner Rebbe, that brought tchelis into the world, and this Rebbe went and developed tchelis, and in his time, some 10,000 Hasidim started to wear tchelis. And of course, it was not accepted by many sources. And there's a whole literature pro and against. The bottom line today, I will tell you that the proofs on either side from Chazal line up fairly against each other. And I think that the bottom line is in halacha, and I once actually heard this from Rav Belsky Zatzal, who was the Rosh Hashiva of Torah V'das, and he was at the head of the OU Kashrus rabbinate, and he wrote a tshuva on tchelis. And the bottom line is, he said that one is not allowed to tell somebody who's wearing tchelis they can't, and one is not allowed to tell someone who's not wearing tchelis that they have to. In other words, there's a legitimacy to both opinions. There's a lot to go into. We're not going to go into the subject, but one is Yotzei the mitzvah of tzitzis either way. Is one superior than the other? Well, each side will tell you maybe it's superior, but you cannot say that you're not allowed to wear tchelis, or you're not allowed to have tzitzis, be Yotzei with tzitzis without tchelis. That's very short representation of what's going on today and how we have to view it. Not to be critical of someone who wears it or someone who doesn't wear it, because in a certain sense, they're both right. It lines up on both sides. Okay. All right, let's continue. So he's quoting here a Gemara Menachos, which has to do with tchelis. It's a kind of a little bit of a poetic Gemara, which you might have heard before. The Gemara Melamedet Otanu, the Gemara teaches us the following. Why do we wear tchelet? Tchelet doma liyam. The tchelet, the blue tchelis, is similar to the sea. Yam doma l'rakia. The sea is similar to the heaven. V'rakia l'kisei hakoved. And the rakia is similar to the kisei hakoved. So there's a sort of associative nature to the tchelis, right? But it's more than associative, There's a certain mystery to this color, this color which was which was created in a very, very specific way. The tchelis comes to us, right? And it covers over a simple white thread, and there's mystery in the tchelis that this color makes a difference to us. But the sea also, right? The sea is beautiful, but the sea also has a mystery to it, right? There's no red light or green light in the sea. There's no road signs in the sea, right? The sea is an open, right? It's open. It's a mysterious place. So you can't live in the sea forever, right? Although I hear that there are people that spend their life. I saw an advertisement for a 6 month boat cruise, a 6 month boat cruise. There's a story I read. You can't make these things up. That this woman decided, she told her children she's going to be going on cruises for the rest of her life. It's cheaper than taking all her money and putting it into a senior citizen assisted living place, right? But the sea is a mysterious place, right? And the Shamayim is even more mysterious, right? No one can live in Shamayim. And the Kisei HaKavod, well, that's the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol. That's the most mysterious, right? So there's a kind of mystery with the Tchelis is plugging into, right? Shenimsa harchek me'ever l'tchum hasoga shelanu. These things are beyond our real understanding, ultimately. Gam haderech sha'anu osim b'tu'udatenu ha'emtzaut hatchelet hiderech shel yitzia migvulo hasoga shel adam. The way we make the tchelis is not simple, right? Hayam hu makom atzum shenira lanu kechaser gvulot. Oh, he's saying this here. He says that the yam has no boundaries. There's no boundaries in the sea. Ve'ein la'adam yachol litkayem. A person cannot survive in the sea. Hu mekif et hayabasha. It has the purpose of, it surrounds the inhabited lands, right? Umagdir lemaisa et ezor shepo anachnu yecholim lagur lachayot. And the sea surrounds the inhabited parts of the earth within which we're allowed to live, but you don't live in the sea. Derech hahitbonanut b'yam anu amurim lihitbonen b'shamayim. And if we say that about the sea, certainly about the heavens. Shenimtzaim me'ever le'olam. It's beyond the world. Ve'eleim anachnu afilu lo yecholim la'amod b'tzura areit kemo bayam. Right? We can't. How long can you stay in the sky? How long can a plane go in the sky? Umikocham aleinu lehizaker v'kisei hakavod, and the ultimate is the throne of glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shenimtze me'al nivrei, which is above and beyond any hasaga, any understanding that we have, right? So the Tchelis really represents these the illogical dimension of Torah, the mystical dimension of Torah, and the regular tzitzis represent the logical part of Torah, right? Amnam achut shel tchelet. So here he goes into the point. The thread of tchelet shenitztavinu lasim b'tzitzis, that we're commanded to put in our tzitzis. Lo nuad rak lahazkir lanu sheyeshnam gabayim she'adenu einu maseged otam. Not just to tell us that there are areas that are mysterious to us. Ela nuad, they're appointed, Rav Soloveitchik says, lahadrich otanu ketzad yesh lehityaches l'dvarim keila. It's designed to teach us how to get to an understanding of these mysterious items, of this mysterious dimension of Torah. How so? Ketzad aleinu linhog. How do we conduct ourselves? Kasher nitkal v'mahalach hainu b'rayon o b'matzav shel maraot ayin ein lo shum hesber o pitaron. How do we deal with an issue that we don't understand? How does a Jew trying to decipher Torah, how does he understand what this mystery of Torah? Where do I get an answer? Ma aleinu lasot. What do we do? Kasher haseichel shalanu, that our limited understanding, excuse me, nitakel b'kir atom shoto hu enu yachol livko. We hit a wall, right? We don't understand. Tchilato shel hatzitz, tachlito shel hatzitzit. Purpose of the tzitzis. Ki lahavi otanu lizkor, is that we should remember, to bring to our mind and our understanding at mitzvot Hashem, the mitzvahs of Hashem, vet ha'uvda she'elu mechayavot otanu b'chol matzav, that we are obligated to keep them in every situation. Gam kasher inenu matzlichim la'avin et hadvarim la'shuram, even if we don't understand them. But what's the solution? Next paragraph. Al menat lihitmodei im matzavim elu, in order to confront and come to terms with these mysterious circumstances that Tchelis represents, the mitzvahs that are beyond us, kind of. Elu anu zakukim larav ulemoradera. We need a Rav. Everybody needs a Rav. We need a teacher. Moshe kibel Torah misinai u'msor Yeshua. The whole process of Torah is that every generation needs a teacher. Every Jew needs someone to teach him Torah. Anu tzrichim demut. We need a personality. Shenimtzeit b'makom gavoa yoter mizeh she'anu omdim. Somebody who is on a higher level than I'm at. Al menat shezu toshit lanu yad, that he'll lend us a hand. V'te'afsher lanu lechatzot et hanahar v'bitcha, that he'll open up our eyes to what is happening, what is a mystery to us. He will help us to discern it and understand it. Chashuv l'tzayin, it's important to point out, shatzorach hagodol b'shimush talmidei chachomim, the importance of our having a relationship with talmidei chachomim, with Torah scholars. Eino psak gam sherabo shel adam niftar, right? Gam kasher harav einenu nochach anu tzrichim liot mesugalim la'alot b'da'atenu. It's not only when a person has a rav and the rav passes away. So it's not, I don't have a rav anymore. No, it's not only in his lifetime, but it's in your lifetime. Even if one's Rebbe passes away, what should he say? Liot mesugalim la'alot b'da'atenu. He should think, Ketzad haya rav noeg. How would my Rebbe act in this circumstance? I'm confronted with a situation, whether it's an ethical situation, a halakhic situation. How would my Rebbe paskin? How would he deal with it? How would he deal with this problem, this emergency situation that I have before me? This is Rabbi Salvation is bringing this all up with the tchelis and we're coming to Korach and Moshe, right? Ikaron zeh b'diyuk. This idea, the central motif that the Jewish people cannot survive without a Moraderech, without a Rav, without a Talmud Chacham, who will help us understand the mysterious dimensions of Torah, right? Ikaron zeh b'diyuk amad b'merkaz ha'machloket shechol Korach. This was at the center of the machlokas that Korach had with Moshe Rabbeinu. Hu bikesh, he wanted, lishlol hatzorah v'histamchut al harav, to get rid of the position of the Rav, of the leader, of the Talmud Chacham, of the Kohen Gadol, let's say, of the Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Rav lechem, he says, you take too much upon yourself. Ki kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. Every Jew is holy, says Korah. Ubitocham Hashem, and God dwells amongst all of us. Who are you? Umadua tiknasu al kahal Hashem. How dare you position yourself above the people of God? Korach ta'an, what was his argument? Shekol echad ve'echad yachol lifsok atzmo. Everybody can paskin a shayla. Every Jew has the ability, the heart, the mind. He can determine which way to go. V'lifshot levad et sfekotav halachtiim. If he has a halachic safek, doubt, a yishim, or in personal life, he can solve. Every Jew has the right to solve it himself. What makes you special? Hare kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. A whole talus that's blue. You're telling me that the talus with a little two threads of tchelis, right, is holy, but the whole talus the whole talus, the whole Klal Yisrael, every Jew. We don't need that thread of tchelis, right? Hare kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim ubetochem Hashem, and Hashem is with every Jew. Eize makom eifo yesh li dmut shenimtzeit me'al adam im adam atzmo nichan b'tchunot po gedolot. If man is so great that every Jew is special to the Rebbe Shalom, how dare you put yourself in such a position? Ha'im ein lanu et hakelim. Do we not have the ability? Go to the last page. Habasisim. Don't we have the basic basic potential and qualities, lahachriya b'mekarim shel sfeikot, we can learn Torah too. Everybody can solve these problems. V'imachein ein lanu kesed yechola demuto shel harav lefatzot et hachaser ma yesh l'rav she'ein lanu. What does the Rav have? What do you have, Moshe Rabbeinu, that we don't have? That was the whole idea with this talis shekula shel tchelis versus the strings of tchelis. Korach haya savur, Korach held she'im klal Yisrael yu domim l'talis shekula tchelis, that if klal Yisrael would be compared to a talis completely made of the tchelis, haya lehem et hakoach la'asok gam b'dvarim gvoim biyoter. That's all they need. Put on that talis, right? L'maisa taina zeh bita gisha hamamina sha'torah kula yichol liyot b'toch chumo shel adam. Every Jew can have that, right? Not wrong. Moshe Rabbeinu Heshivlo, Moshe answered him, Sheyeshnam Dvarim Shemitzad Atzmam Tamid Yu Me'ever L'Hasig Yado Shel Adam. There will always be areas in life that are beyond our understanding. The only way to get to the root and solving those problems is to have that thread of tchelet. Kilomar, in other words, lirot et harav kemisha omeid me'alei u'misugal lahoshit li yad, that the Rav is in a position, the Beit Din is in a position to paskin, that there's a problem, we don't have an answer, we have to have faith in the power of Torah, that the Beit Din, that the Rav is going to paskin and resolve the problem. And it will take me from that place of confusion, just the way that the tzitz that sits of the tchelis, the thread, right? Umechaber ota limkomot shenimtzeim mechutz letchuma haprati, which go beyond the clothing, the beged, the private human being who's wearing it. It extends beyond. It has a view into the future. It has an ability, and the word seats is from to look. Seats is to look. There's a view that the Torah has through the leadership of Torah to find that answer. And Torah, this idea, anu yecholom limtzo b'divrei Chazal. This Rabbi Salvation, you can find this in Chazal. Shedarshu at Pasuk, the rabbis darshan a Pasuk in Malachi. He siftei kohen yishmeru dat. The words of the kohen will protect knowledge. V'torah yivakshu mipihu. Seek out Torah from ki malach Hashem tzvakosu. That a Rebbe, right? Im doma harav lamalach Hashem. If your Rebbe appears to you like an angel, yivakshu Torah mipihu. Seek Torah from him. V'im lav al yivakshu Torah mipihu. If not, don't seek Torah from him. But the Rav has to be viewed by you as a Malach Hashem. Now, who's that? How do we understand that one? Right? That's pretty, if that's what Rabbi Soloveitchik is telling us, we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. So how do we solve the problem? So let me end here the last two paragraphs from Mori V'Rabbi Hagon Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg. Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg, my Rebbe, Hizbir et ha'uvda sha'gemora mishaveh et harav l'malach. What does it mean that a Rav is compared to an angel? How can a Rav be compared to an angel? If you see your Rav as an angel, go after him. Listen to him. If you don't see him as an angel, don't go after him. What is he saying? So it says Weinberg like this: Malach hainu yeshut ruchanit hamatzavet et ritzon Hashem mibli litchashev shikulim ishim kol shehem. A malach is a servant of the Rebbeinu Shalom. He has no Yetzer Hara or Yetzer Tov. The Malach only has the will to do what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants him to do. He's a servant of the Rebbeinu Shalom, right? That's, by the way, one of the arguments that when the Malachim were upset that Moshe was given the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe to argue with them, and he said to them, do you have a Yetzer Hara? You don't have a Yetzer Hara. Torah demands a human being who's going to grapple with all these principles and make himself into a better person, make the world into a better person, right? By defeating his negativity, right, with the positivity of Torah. But a Malach doesn't have that problem, right? A malach is purely a servant of the Rebbe Shalom. Yesh lo rak matara achad. He's got one, an angel, a malach has one goal. Livatza et Ratzon Hashem. To do exactly what God wants him to do. Tafkido shel hamalach uliot shaliach ne'eman. The purpose of the malach is to be a faithful servant, a faithful agency of ulahavir et Ratzon Hashem, and to pass over the will of God. Kahavioto is the way it's supposed to be. Al menat lahagshim oto han ba'olam hatachton, over to the people in this world. Now, kasher bo adam livchor lo rav. If you're going to look for a rabbi, you're going to look for a rebbe, you're going to look for a teacher, right? Yesh lav livdok. What are you looking for? Ha'im harabba, I want someone to teach me Torah. Ha'im harab ba'atzmo ma'avir et ma'shehu ba'atzmo lamad me'harav shlo. Is he giving you over what he learned from his rebbe? Torah is about Masorah. There's a tradition, right? O ha'im shina ha'Masorah shekibel. Or is he reforming the Torah that he received from his rebbe, from the past generation, and even more so from the generation before, right? If that's the way it is, hu einenu mishaneh mehamesorat shekibel ba'atzmo. Nitein lahaniach shamesorat sherabba ma'avir elav mishtareret chazara al l'Torah's Moshe Rabbeinu ba'atzmo. A rebbe, a teacher, has to be giving us over faithfully the Torah that he received from his rebbe, who received from his rebbe, who received from Moshe Rabbeinu. Al pi advarim anal. Based on this, we understand nuchal la'osif she'al rav kazeh efshar leityaches ke'al malach. So that's what it means, right? Im harav domeh lemalach Hashem tzvaot vivakshu Torah mipiv. If he seems to you like a malach in the sense that he presents to you the Masorah, the true pristine Masorah of Torah, without any changes, without any reforming of the Torah, that's a rebbe, that's a teacher that you should seek. Kolomar ke'al mi shenoad litavech beinenu bein haolamot haruchanim shemalenu, who takes from the spiritual world rak mi sheshomer ne'amana al ritzufuto shel hamasoret yachol liot, etc., etc., etc. So this was what was at stake with Moshe and with Korach. Moshe insisted, Malach Hashem Tzvakot. It's not about me. It's about the Masorah. It's about not deviating from what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. And Korach's whole idea was to create that gap in the leadership, in the Torah leadership, and it would have destroyed Klal Yisrael without that covenant Torah that we are supposed to have. Okay, that's it for this evening. Yashar Kohal. Halacha on Wednesday, we're going to do benching with a koi, something that we've been advertising for the last few weeks. Things have come up. Weren't able to give it, but that's the halacha. Do you bench on a kos? Do you not bench on a kos? Do you have to say Birkat Hamazon on a kos, or do you not have to? That's what we're going to discuss on Wednesday. Okay? Have a great week, everybody. All the best. Thank you for your patience.